Namaste. Welcome. Thank you for being with me today. We are looking at the Serratus Anterior and we are answering this question on your screen. I'm going to answer it in two sections. Let's first look at Serratus Anterior. What does Serratus Anterior do? It protracts the shoulder blade. And so I've seen how it works together with serratus, bringing your chest back, bringing the shoulder blade in, hugging from the serratus, activating into the upper abs will release neck tension. So it secures, for me this is what it's doing, secures the shoulder girdle so that when I go into handstands or headstands, I am feeling strong so that I can feel free in the neck and in the hips. So it will coincide with Uddiyana Bandha, hugging in there. But also very important, it coincides with the lower trap. So if the shoulders are up, we could be, it can't actually activate. Well, the lat's not activating. And so we need to hug it in and then draw the shoulder blades down. So how do I know mine's not working? In my case, it was, well, in hindsight, it was quite obvious, but I was struggling with arching of my back for years. And when I actually posed this question to one of my students who's a bio, she immediately looked at my posture and she said, lat is weak and the Serratus Anterior is weak. And we started working, and tight. Yeah, I was tight on the lat. So we started working on that. And the one exercise she gave, okay, so let's first look at how do I know? So how you know is if you've got a winging scapula. It's apparently a medial winging scapula if it's your serratus that's weak, because the scapula can do two things. But if you're struggling in your push-up positions, coming down into chaturanga, and you find that the chest wants to kind of just keep dropping and you've got no feeling. I remember a stage where I did not understand what people meant when they said the weight through the hands, and ease is really just, you don't have to be too tight, but at ease. And I was always there. So let's take simple cat-cow. If I'm going, this is normal. We go, okay, I'm arching the back, I'm rounding the back, I'm arching the back. Okay, which could actually give quite a lot of discomfort in the back. So I want you to change that and feel lifting up under the armpits, relaxing the shoulders down and lifting the chest. Only think of shoulders. So my shoulders can push and lengthen. And then all I have to do is rotate the shoulder, release. Don't do anything in your back. And open the chest. And then think of lifting your chest. And lengthening and rotating the shoulders. That will lead to good handstands, which handstands have become so popular to want to do. I don't know why, because I also want to do that. I love them. So the test that the bios and physios do for this is to check for a winging scapula, and that you can do by going onto a wall. You might want to ask a friend to check if you can see a winging scapula. Put the hands at the waist level, palms facing the wall and the fingers facing down, and you push. And winging scapula, if you Google that, and you'll see it on YouTube, quite easy. Those scapulas go completely out, and mine was much worse a year ago. Okay, so now when you do your push-up and you got a strong serratus, it will activate the shoulder blades nicely on the back and not. It will make that your push-ups feel much more effortless. Then another test is, you might want to get a friend to do this. You just stand and send your hand out, palm up. And then you want to check if the arm can resist. So I'm going to push down on myself, and if that's stable, okay. But of course, it's nicer when there's external force. You can actually feel, whoa, that was like wicked, because your own, okay. And that's also where how to strengthen, but it would also be strengthening your lat as you, like any push down. But the lat is pushed down and the serratus is the hugging, almost the outer rotation of the arm. So it's, when you do outer rotation, it's nice not to just think elbow out, you hug. And okay, so now you've tested if it's weak, maybe, or if you want to work on it and get it stronger. You don't have just rotate out. You want to lift the chest right in. So to think of a spear pushing into the chest. We lift under the armpits, weight onto the fingertips and knuckles down, neck relax. So we want to lift and then even get the lower trap, shoulder blades down. That's quite a good one to check if you actually got active lower traps. I could quickly, it makes the video even longer, I could quickly give you a nice exercise to activate your lower trap. Because I think I have. Okay, but I'll add, okay. Then you drop your shoulder blades through onto your back, but without sinking. So you want to keep up, open neck, and come through, and then push down again, and hug in, and shoulder blades on your back, and down. Now, you can exaggerate a little bit because this is where in the Ashtanga practice, we're going to come glide your bum up into a handstand or bunny hop kind of position. You go into half handstand. And you want to have that rotation. So as the shoulders rotate, the head goes down, the bum goes up. So if we practice this, we could put the head down as the serratus activate and then lengthen out as you drop the shoulders. You round it, putting the head down, but really lengthen it, because that's also the practice for your Ashtanga. Lengthen and then release and push and shoulder blades on your back. Yeah, there's so I found that you can hug that, and if you don't disengage the upper trap and use your lower trap to get the shoulder blade down, then you could do it without even engaging serratus and just like rotate, and it's not so nice. Well, this will also indicate whether it's weak or not. Thumbs can be up and the head on the floor and lifted in the belly. Then we raise an arm, but as you raise it, really try and bring the shoulder blade down your back, so that you think of the point of your lower point of your shoulder blade pulling down. Okay, and I'm down my back, I lift the arm, down my back, and down, and down my back. Okay, and then later on you can do 2 arm lifts as well, both together. Anna Forrest does that in her practice. Older classes, she stands in horse stance and then she pulls the shoulder blades down and then release, and draws and pulls the shoulder blades down and release. And she used to call it milking, which is quite nice. You feel like you drawing them down the back, and that activates. Now another muscle that could actually prevent you from getting that as activated as possible is the rhomboids. Rhomboids are quite simple to release, is with massage. Yoga wheels work, but tennis ball works. And you can also take 2 tennis balls and just wrap them together and make them 2, and then you can do 2 rhomboids at the same time. But I like doing it on the floor. You lie down and just roll the ball on the rhomboid between the shoulder blade. But it works up against the wall. It's a little bit easier or lighter, my students tell me, because they say the weight of the body is like sometimes they're just screaming. Okay, so there I can find the ball I put between the spine and the shoulder blade and just rolling it up and down Yeah, I don't think you can see on there. And then I move to the other side and massage it out. Really nice. Now I remember, it was about 4 years ago, could it be that long? Or maybe longer ago. I taught this in class, and I would go, and it would actually go like those muscles were so like bands between the shoulder blades. They don't do that anymore. Yeah. So you want to massage it until that feels smooth. So the rhomboids can't stand in your way of activating and bringing the shoulder down. Why this engagement is really good for releasing neck is because it stabilizes the shoulder and it stabilizes C5, C6, and C7. And as soon as you've stabilized, you can try it. This is how I'm teaching my students now. Imagine I'm holding a sword pointing towards me. So I'm gripping on the sword. And then I first lengthen the sword away, shoulders relax, and then I pull the sword in towards me. So that takes my shoulder blades down. And then notice my neck is free. Okay, so then I've got a nice stabilization, and I can even push the head back. So also a question was how to strengthen the neck. I didn't make a video of it, and you could do it, I'll quickly add it in. You could strengthen the neck in this. So before I do that, now, what this also does is if you add in your upper abs, if your upper abs are not engaging and you can still do it and then not actually get the full experience of it, pull the upper abs, strengthen your into between the rib cage, and you pull. Then you scoop the belly, because that already will relax the lower back. Then you're pulling the shoulder blades in alignment, and then your neck, you can feel you're holding everything in the abs. Now, then I can naturally pull the head back and in alignment and even. So that would be the space of my back bend instead of going, oh my God, like that. Okay. But maybe you need extra strengthening for those muscles. Many, many years ago, the physio gave me this exercise and I could not hold the ball under my chin. Don't know if I can now. Okay. But again, we're going to engage the chest back so that the ball can fit in. That's already much easier. Then you want to turn without losing the ball and turn to the other side and practice. So apparently this is the deep neck muscles that, there. That's a little interesting exercise. Okay, obviously do it slower and with awareness. Then, so the one part of the question is the upper back gets very rounded. Now that's normal, because you're going from maybe something like this to activating the serratus. Now, it was at that time that the physio actually said to me, I've got 1/8 of roundness in my upper back compared to other people, 1/8. So what you're seeing in my body is 1/8 of how much yours could be rounding in the upper back. So I really have to work hard on the serratus to lift and make sure that's lifting. So lots of people are quite rounded. And what I then focus on for them, so that might mean that your serratus is always working in any case, is really, really good, is the lengthening out. So you got your serratus in, and you're then pulling, so I could get serratus in, but it's like kind of so contracted and so rounded that you don't feel how you can draw the shoulder blades down and lengthen out. I'm actually showing that more in this next video, talking about the forward fold. Okay, about Paschimottanasana or Parivritta Trikonasana. Okay, so watch it in the next video, the extension, that if your back's very rounded, we can get it flattened. Okay, so let's see it in poses where the serratus can engage. So that really brought a whole new level to me in my whole practice, stabilizing me from the core into releasing the tension on the lower back, engaging. So now go into down dog. So if I get the serratus, the head back, the chest back, the shoulder blades down, place the hands, release the neck, tuck toes, and the head will just follow where it can go. And you're lifted. You're in a position where you're already ready for a handstand. So when I want to stretch my shoulders, I have to be a little cautious, because that's when I kind of flop it and lose it again. So this will also be kind of an indication serratus is not working. We want to just keep going open. You want to keep it closed. So I can work on shoulder flexibility, but lift and engage and reach and press down. Make sure you're still pressing down and opening the shoulders, not just, oh, okay, because that's not going to be my shoulders. Okay. So if you look at the difference when you're doing, now with the serratus engaged and the lower trap coming down, there will be a big difference. So if I don't, and I'm just leaning through my arms, I might find, okay. And my head also doesn't feel very stable. It wants to try and help me do the pose. So I'm going to engage and work it right into my upper abs and press down through the fingers and push down on the knuckles and engage it again, lengthening out. And then I've got my shoulders. Yeah. And such a nice practice. So, and also the serratus will make you go lifting up, 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 up. So you suck from your thumbs right into your armpit and yes, finding your hands then to actually balance you. I think that's a big thing. People are trying to do handstand, 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 but it took me so long. And when I found my hands, because my teacher always used to say, you're going to balance yourself on your hands eventually and you're going to be swaying and it's okay because your hands. I was like, how? And then one day, working on all these muscles, I went, oh, they're my hands and they're starting to guide me. Okay. I think that's it. I want to add, because so the question was, do I engage this all the time? And kind of, I do. Well, you know my history now. I kind of, mine just flares out and I just never use it. So for me, even in the sundial, I actually suspect this is another winging that the shoulder blade was able to do. Like it just, and even I hug it in and then stretch it out. I hug it in so that my arm is working inwards, and not just flaring out to try and get the flexibility. Hold it in. Actually get more flexibility when you hold it in and then lengthen it out. So anything that would be, even your arms in triangle pose. So I want to, yes, there, hug it in, get the pelvis, lower back down, and into the arm there, instead of just, okay. And very often, twisting triangle, people find I correct them in, do this properly here, okay. And there I'm already lifting. I'm making that, and the shoulder blade down, then I reach out with my stomach muscle, which we'll look in the next video. Now the arm seems to want to fly, but actually press, and then you find the hugging, because now my shoulders are in and my legs can take over. So it's actually where you can feel the leg strength, like Parivritta or the warrior pose. Parivritta. If the arm just there, I know that that's not engaging. The ribs will be, look, don't look too much out, not like they used to, but much nicer there. Yeah, you see the difference in the neck and the pelvis. So this takes me into a very exciting part where I've learned, I'm thinking now, should I make this a new video or not? Because I don't want to make these videos so long. Okay, so then the next part is in Chakrasana. So if the chest is not coming down, so lots of people try and do these rolls, even Navasana. We go, it's hard work, and we're holding. Okay, so I'm going to say, stop the hard work. Relax, shoulder blades on your back. kind of when I put shoulder blades on my back, my serratus is coming into engagement. Now, think of pushing as I go back. Of course, I'm pushing backwards with my chest, backwards, round. But people tend to want to pick that up too early to come up. There is a picking up later. But first, as you want to come up, push down. Actually make more round. Push down. Okay, and this, the next video is going to include what you're doing in the hip flexor. That's another video, so it's going to be 3. Another video, and what the hip flexor is doing. So now, even if you try, sometimes and that's a big problem in Sarvangasana and shoulder stand. We go, but we try and get the body straight by changing the neck. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, and you change the pelvis. Okay, but it's going to make more sense when I tell you, go up by pushing down. Yeah, and this part we also recognized that very often, even people with very open chest and I don't know, it was very, one morning, we just had an epiphany, and I said to him, relax your sternum, relax the sternum. And just, oh, yeah? Not, okay, I'm doing it, oh, yeah. It's like, no, lift up, relax sternum, and go. And you'll find your poses just soften. There's not so much trying. Okay, so I go into shoulder stand by pressing down. So I can start from the sitting here, I can start from straight legs, lying down, whatever, it doesn't matter. As soon as your back touches the floor, it pushes down even more. Lift the tummy, shoulders relax, and down. And that's one way of getting directly up. But even if you're going directly to halasana and then lifting up, I go down. Then I'm already down and relaxed in my shoulder blades, and you can lift. But make sure you don't then lift from the neck, but lift from the pelvis. Shoulder blades are staying and sternum relaxing. So later on, we'll get those hips and so forth more and more open. Now that took us into the revelation of the exciting stuff in Chakrasana. Lots of people, I think the main reason people don't want to do the backward roll vinyasa is because they're scared of the neck, and I was. But it makes complete sense now that if you're going like this, it's kind of going over a straight kind of head. So it's going to be pushing on the neck. But I think the biggest problem that I also had was the upper traps were too tight. So it was like, okay, now go backward roll. So it's going to put pressure on the upper traps. And now that we're learning the shoulders and the lower trap coming down, the upper trap is going to start to release. So you can feel that even in a forward fold, that your shoulder's in the right place and the upper trap is softer and hopefully softer. Okay. So now I go Chakrasana. Instead of going up, over, there, exactly that, I'm going to push down in my chest. Here, I've got space. I'm going to push down in my chest just as my chest starts to touch the floor. And it just pushes the hips up more. And yes, you can roll on the head, but that's it. And that one was such a doozy for me, such a strange thing, because even the people that I looked at that I thought, oh, they're not arched like I am. They're pulling their chest back. They got headstands that are a charm. And still when I tell them that, they go, whoop, all of a sudden. So sometimes we just don't know that we're actually using it in that and also in that. And that you'll have to figure out, like, okay, is that too much? Or just relax. So that's always a nice test. You can go and go, but is my sternum relaxed? So actually it went deeper for me. So I'm engaging and I'm like really engaging, trying to get it. And I go sternum relax. And then my shoulder blade. Then I'm free to play around with the muscles a bit more. Okay, I think I answered as much. I'm going to take the Navasana one that I was going to add in this video and add it into the hip flexor one as well. Okay, thanks for watching. Namaste.